Good morning, St. B's family. David Madeira here, Director of Music, coming at you from my home guest room / home office during this time of diaspora. I missed you all this past weekend during our the Triduum and our Easter services, although I was often surprised at a powerful sense of God with us and our connection to each other. During that weekend. It was hard to be away from you, but there were also moments of great power and great beauty in it for me, and I hope they were there for you as well. One thing I'm thinking about this week that's been challenging is experiencing the tension of celebrating the resurrection and the victory of Christ over sin and death and all that's broken in the world, and then to look at the world around us and see so much still unchanged. One thing that's been helpful for me is thinking about the first witnesses to the resurrection, the first disciples, and the fact that they had to wrestle with that tension as well, having borne witness to the event itself, and being beginning to understand the victory of Christ and what it all means, but then to still go out in the world that's under Roman rule and still subject to violence and death and oppression, and even their new church that they're founding is quick to experience its own divisions and fractures, it's still like that for us today. We celebrate on one hand the great victory, but we also live in a world that has not seen it fully realized yet. A book that has been really helpful for me on this that I would recommend to you is this little book called The Resurrection and Modern Man, and it's little, but it is just packed full of goodness. Ignatius IV is the author, Patriarch of Antioch, and that sounds like an ancient church father, but he was actually a 20th century higher up in the Eastern Orthodox Church. And he approaches the topic of the resurrection in such a helpful way by linking it to new creation. And he talks about new creation as not this far-off future event that we wait for when God finally solves all our problems, but something inaugurated in the resurrection that's ongoing now and that we're all invited to participate in. And so I want to read a couple of passages to you from this book, and I hope that they inspire you as they have inspired me this week. He mentions that God begins talking about the new creation way back in Isaiah when Israel is in exile. And he says it's within this very period of exile in Babylon that God announced his new creation. From Isaiah 43, "Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing something new. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it?" The something new which has finally appeared is Christ, and the true return from exile is his resurrection. This is what has been accomplished for us. What has not been abolished, however, is our condition of being in exile. The realization of the promise in the person of the resurrected Christ simply enables us to see more clearly the apocalyptic struggle that we are engaged in. The event of the new creation has been accomplished once and for all in the death and resurrection of the incarnate Logos. Henceforth, therefore, the structure of history is paschal, in the strictly theological sense of Passover, a passage from this present world into the new creation. Finally, this last little bit, which I think is so good. So how can the Paschal event, having accomplished once and for all, become ours today? It happens through the very one who is the fashioner of that event, both at the beginning and in the fullness of time, the Holy Spirit. He is personally the new creation at work in the world. He is the presence of God with us, joined to our spirit. Without him, God is far off. Christ is in the past. The gospel is a dead letter. The church is only an organization. Authority is domination. Mission is propaganda. Worship is a mere mouthing of words. And Christian action is a slave morality. But with him, and in indispensable symphony with him, The cosmos is raised up and groans with the birth pains of the kingdom. Man struggles against the flesh. Christ is raised. The gospel becomes the power of life. The church offers communion with the Trinity. Authority becomes a liberating service. Mission becomes a Pentecost. The liturgy is lived as both a memorial and an anticipation, and human action is deified. That's the mystery that I'm entering into this week, and I invite you to enter into that mystery with us as well. How is the new creation at work around us, and how are you invited to participate in it through the giving of the Holy Spirit to us? With that, I miss you. I love you all. I look forward to being with you in person again. Until then, the Lord be with you.